In this video, we discuss Gervonta "Tank" Davis' last fight against Issac Cruz and whether he can become boxing's next big superstar. Gervonta Davis was fighting Issac Cruz in a fight recently, very recently. So that was an interesting fight. It's interesting to see where Tank will go with his career, whether he'll be a superstar, whether he'll kind of. It's interesting because he is under that Mayweather banner, and it seems like he's kind of like trapped in like that Mayweather promotion where he's not able to go out and fight like a Ryan Garcia or one of those guys who are not with PBC or not with Mayweather promotions.
Because Floyd, right after the fight said publicly that Tank's gonna stay loyal to the banner kind of, and he won't be fighting anyone out of PBC.
Stay as an in-house fighter. That's directly from his quote. So
I don't see why.
Kind of sucks to see that because he has so much potential, so much skills. He's huge power. Obviously he didn't really get to showcase that against Issac Cruz, but in all of his other fights, I mean, man, if you look at his knockouts, if you look at the way he breaks people down, and he could box too. He's not just a puncher. He could box, he can move, he can do it. He can do a lot. So he's a three-way world champ, but belts are relatively easier to get in boxing than most sports, especially because if you get one belt, there's still like four more to get.
Yeah, exactly. But one of the things where I'm worried more about Tank than the other guys is because even though he's young, he's still older than all the other guys like Haney, Garcia, and all of them.
Yeah.
So even though he of course has tons of time left and to have a lot more big fights, it's still like it's a bit worrying to see how like he might not have all the opportunities to fight the top of the top dogs, which everyone would love to see since Tank is also a big name in the sport.
It's super unfortunate. It kind of seems like wasted potential in a way because we're seeing Tank. He's such a great talent, but he's not fighting these top level guys. He's not fighting the guys that people want him to see, any undefeated guys. Or he went up to 140 pounds, fought Mario Barrios in an impressive performance where he stopped a much bigger guy. Mario Barrios was so much taller than him, but we saw in his last fight that he struggled with that kind of style that Issac Cruz possessed. So it's kind of tough to say where Tank will go, if he'll be the next superstar in boxing, but the potential is 100% there.
Yeah.
He has the potential, he has the skills, he has the power, and it would definitely be interesting to see how he would fare against like different like top level opposition in lightweight, but I don't know if we're gonna get to see that, and it's super unfortunate.
Yeah, like a really interesting fight. I feel like obviously Garcia versus Tank would be a really cool fight to see. Two guys with explosive power and speed. But another one that would be really interesting is Devin Haney versus Gervonta Davis, since it's two kind of different styles. Although Tank is also like he's a very good technical fighter and he can fight technically as well. But yeah, it would just be interesting to see kind of Haney's outpointing style versus Tank maybe trying to go for the kill, and just see how those two styles collage.
Yeah, definitely. It would be interesting, because Devin's more of like a passive fighter, but he likes to stay in the pocket, which would be scary against Tank, obviously, because he's a huge puncher.
Yeah, that would be bad.
If he gets a flush shot landed to him, which maybe in the later rounds he'll start to slow, but Devin Haney does have freakish cardio, so he has really good cardio. Devin Haney, I feel like that's kind of like an underrated attribute of his. He can go many rounds. He can and he doesn't seem to get tired. He's still in the fight. He's still sometimes he'll when he's tired he'll put his hands low, which you never want to see, especially with while people are saying he has a questionable chin, which we don't really know. We haven't seen him get dropped at all, but we have seen him get rocked against Linares. So I don't think he has a bad chin necessarily. We haven't seen it, so you can't really say, but it will be interesting. Obviously, I think if Gervonta Davis lands a flush shot on Devin, it will be trouble for sure.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't end too well for Haney.
And he's also he's a good boxer, but he could also be technical. The commentators are saying, Gervonta Davis said he wanted to do MMA, which I heard that. I'm like, what? that's a bit interesting because he was fighting in like a kind of dirty way, similar to how Floyd Mayweather fights. He was such a good boxer.
Well, in the clinch, he has some tricks where
yeah.
some are a little bit questionable.
There's one point where he just rocked out his shoulder out of nowhere.
Yeah, I saw.
And came out with a knee tap and
Saw him go for the little Conor McGregor shoulder strike.
Yeah, and he was
which is funny.
He was doing it all. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see him fight MMA. That'd be crazy if that actually happened. I definitely don't see it happening, but in this world, like anything could happen at this point with how things have been going recently. This clip is taken directly from the Punch Plan podcast. You can check the episode out right now on your screen, or you can go in the link in the description and stream it on Spotify. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.